France's entry into the Indian trade was driven by state-supported commercial visions designed to just basically be the rival to the English in the Indian Ocean and the subcontinent. Because that's what the French do. They just figure out what Britain's doing and try and screw them over. That's French history in a nutshell. In 1664, Colbert and the French crown organized a dedicated French East India Company, real original. C'est le campagne
I'm going to
français
tell
pour les
just
commerces
one
des Indes orientales. Quoi? Yeah.
Uh, just one thing. Technically, the French company that's operating here for the French possessions, it's kind of like the third incorporation of the French East Indies Company. Yeah, the first one just lasted 4 years, then 1664, and then what was operating now was a reorganization of of a company following the termination of John Law's monetary exemption, and
Okay.
that formed the basis for the current French Indies company that is operating here,
All right. So they
who
failed
had a
once.
great motto of "I will flourish wherever I will be brought."
All right. So yeah, the Campagne français pour le commerce des Indiens orientales. Of course, that's the long one. What is called the French East India Company. They began to establish direct trading links with India and Southeast Asia, which I mean I know quite a bit about, like Vietnam, Cambodia, and all that would happen there. So yeah, the French were not very nice in Southeast Asia. I'll say that much. The aim was to secure spices, textiles, indigo, pepper, precious metals, while creating a strategic foothold that could translate into royal prestige and geopolitical influence, because they just wanted to have what the British had, a growing empire. The French quickly established a network of coastal factories and settlements designed to control the trade routes and supply lines. Pond- in English, you pronounce it Pondicherry.
Yeah, Pondicherry. Yeah,
Okay, because I have like the French writing in mind, so it's Pondicherry.
yeah.
Became a principal hub from 1674 onwards, serving as a secure commercial base and a staging ground for diplomacy with the Indian rulers. So I guess this is kind of their most fortified place.
Yeah, it was their bastion of power.
Okay.
It's a nice town. I've just visited once. I'll just add this little tidbit of facts. Around the time of the start of the War of Austrian Succession, in terms of global revenue, the British and French East Indies companies were approximately similar in revenue.
Really?
They were generating an annual sales of 21 to 25 million French livres. I don't have the kind of current conversion to kind of state what it was, but it's pretty large. But they were still behind the Dutch East Indies Company, which was at 30 million.
Okay. There's also Chandinagar, followed on the Hooghly near Kolkata, with Mai and the Malabar as another strategic enclave. Sorry if I mispronounced some of these places. I have a French writing for these places also, so it's kind of confusing. These settlements were supported by forts, warehouses, and a cadre of administrators, merchants, and sailors who all would integrate into local markets and this aristocratic network. The French trade thrived within a highly competitive space that included Indian merchants, the Mughal state, and crucially, the British East India Company. The French distinguished themselves by cultivating alliances with Indian princes, most notably in the Deccan and Carnatic regions, where Dupleix and other leaders pursued a policy of expansive diplomacy, such as alliances. These alliances would sometimes translate into advantageous trade arrangements, favorable transit, protection for their caravans or their ships, and preferential access to certain ports and such. The Carnatic Wars, which there's three, to my understanding, and this
Yeah.
starts in like the early 40s, goes all the way up to the Seven Years' War, optimized the French strategy. Trade was inseparable from military leverage and political influence. Dupleix sought to embroil rival powers in Indo-French alliances, hoping to channel India's princes' support into lucrative trading positions for the company. The British would counter this with their own alliances and superior naval presence, gradually eroding the French advantages.